Looking at the 5 questions brought to us in this session and linking them together and reflecting on the case of Egypt, which I can summarize one piece of information, can interpret a lot of points, because I worked 6 years as a Deputy Minister of Finance in Egypt, which we always summarize in one point. Egypt budget is 4 quarters. 1 quarter for subsidy, 1 quarter for civil servant salaries, 1 quarter for serving public debt, and the last quarter, which is not existing, is what is spent on everything in the country. This is a deficit. If you imagine that before the revolution, now, the 3 quarters have moved from roughly 72 or 73 of the public budget to close more than that, because the quarter of serving public debt has increased. The expenditure on salaries has increased, subsidy also. As a result, the sources available, which again the deficit, to spend on all other needs of the country has reduced. It comes back to, so how can we reduce poverty? Poverty will increase, is not to decrease. You need money to spend on education. In Egypt, more than 1/3 of the household income spent on tuition fees and private lessons because of the weak of public education system. So you need to spend more on education, health and nutrition. More than 70% of total health expenditure in Egypt is out of pocket. Major factor for poverty increase. It's a disaster for the country. You need to reduce this. You need to allocate more sources. From where? The third one, public services. Lack of public transportation system, water, electricity, wastewater, all of that, again, needs money. Number 4, an effective social security and social insurance system, which is a major contribution for poverty increase, because it's not working. People become more poorer when they retire as a result of any social risk, disability, work injury, health, normal age retirement. They become poorer because the system replaces roughly around 15 to 20%. Unemployment is increasing. Unemployment increasing means more people looking for some sort of income support, or they go to crimes, committing crimes. So again, is a factor for increasing poverty. And many other reasons contributing to poverty in Egypt, which we need to move, as you said, from politics to policies. So in the future, need to address all of that. How can we address them? We need to create more jobs. This is number 1. Creating more jobs means we need to allocate more money for investment. We need to attract more money for investment. We need to get the environment to encourage local and foreign, domestic and foreign direct investment to create more jobs. We need to encourage microfinance. We need to encourage small and medium enterprises. We need also to have tax and social security system which encourage creating jobs, which encourage formal labor force. Because one of the factors contributing to poverty increase is more and more people going to informal for many reasons. I can tell you one, which is common in Egypt. When they ask person, why you want to work in public or civil servant jobs? Why you don't take a private one when the private might offer you 3, 4, 5 times what you will get from the public? He says, security, social security, pension, and health. Because they are enjoying that. In the private sector, I might not enjoy that. So you need to create an environment to attract people to private sector. Because the government of Egypt is no longer able to create jobs. It is the opposite. It has 6 million civil servants when it doesn't need more than 1.5. And the result? The salary of 1.5 million is given to 6. This is the answer. And also, more resources to pay for these salaries. People, once they get the job, ask for more. We need to get an environment to protect labor rights, to encourage people to join private sector. We need to ensure that our education system is responding for the demand of the labor market in regard of the skills, productivity, and needs, because there is no connection currently between the outcome of the education system and the need of the labor market. We need to ensure that we have policies encouraging more people to transfer from the informal sector to the formal sector for the benefit of both the state and the people. If we need to ensure reduction in poverty, so we need to change our social security and social insurance system to respond to the need of the people. We have a system in Egypt for social insurance, which when you retire, you get something around 15 to 20% as a replacement for your income before retirement. So once you retire, you become a poor. Or another word, try to commit something illegal to get something income to protect you when you retire. This is the answer, because the system failed to ensure security. So people look for some alternatives, and this is contributing to corruption. And I got it one day. One man said to me, look, the social insurance and pension system in Egypt is a major contributor to poverty and to corruption, which I believe this is right, absolutely right, after spending 6 years working on this system in Egypt. So you need to reform that to give answer to the people's needs. Social solidarity arrangements is not effective, is not giving the answer to people. You need social safety nets which contribute to human development. We need to ensure that cash transfer, or let me say, I personally believe conditional cash transfer is the answer. I need to achieve more education. I need to ensure that nutrition is right in the right direction. So I need to ensure that when we are spending money, we get something in return for human development in the country. We need social safety nets which are working to protect people at the time of their needs. Cash transfer is an answer, but it needs time. It needs a strategy. It needs to work together with reforming the subsidy system. Subsidy system in Egypt which is taking more than 25% of our budget, will not go away in the short time. It needs a strategy to be replaced with a cash transfer system, which is achieving some objectives. I totally agree with what you've said. One day, a person working for the WHO in Cairo said to me, "What is this stupid government is doing? I get $20,000 per month from the WHO, and the Egyptian government is subsidizing the fuel for me, from the poor people. You need to do something." But unfortunately, the politicians, the political will, this is a problem. Because every time we say we need to reform, they say, "Oh, sorry, keep it away." For exactly the question I asked to a colleague from Greece. Did you warn the politicians that you are heading for the disaster? They said yes. But every time we tell the politicians, they said, "So keep it in the drawer, keep it in the drawer, not now. The one comes behind me or after me, he will do it," until the country collapses. So they need to do something urgently about subsidy system. There is no more resources for social protection with the problem of the political situation and economic situation in Egypt. Fiscal and finance space. There is no. In Egypt case. And is getting worse over time. Without political stability, without security, without economic growth, no way to answer the need of social protection. Because now in Egypt we say, not the politician are sitting in the driving seat in Egypt, but the population who are sitting in the driving seat and the politicians are running behind them. So, as you can see, they are trying to satisfy what they are asking for rather than to build policies which can ensure that after a specific period we are forming or reforming the situation. Finally, the answer for all of that is economic growth, decent economic growth, inclusive economic growth. This can achieve the social protection. This can give all the resources needed to spend on education, on health, on job creation, on social safety nets, social insurance, and all of that. The last point, if I look at only the need for subsidy for social protection, for pension system alone, which is an element of social protection, 8 years ago, it was just 5 billion Egyptian pounds. This year, it is more than 5 billion Egyptian pounds. This year is more than 45 billion Egyptian pounds. 9 times in 8 years. So from where they can get, the answer is to raise taxes, not as a percentage, but as a revenue, which means the economic situation improve, the economic situation is getting better, so you have the better base for collecting more taxes, for investing in human development, in social development, and social protection. Thank you very much.